Hi everybody, Stephan Kesting from grapplers.com. Today my friend Rob Bernacki is going to explain a couple of ways that you can use to prevent the double unders pass, which is a really common guard pass and a difficult one to stop if you don't know what to do.
Precisely. So before we get into the actual movements, I just want to not really explain the concept, but just say that there is a concept that we call frame and hip escape. And when you're dealing with guard retention or preventing guard passes, understanding how to utilize frames and when and how to hip escape is really critical. And this is just going to be one example of this concept. There are several that you can use. So with the double unders pass, Stephan's going to control my hips, connecting his hands, and hike my hips up in the air, right? So now he's reduced my contact surface with the ground. I have less base, and he's controlling my hips in such a fashion that my legs are kind of out of the equation. There's a lot of pressure on me. Now, from here, what Stephan's going to seek to do is turn my hips to one side so that he can immediately shut my legs by and pass my guard. So the first application of frames here that I'm going to use is I'm going to use my elbows on the mat and my hands on my knees as I open my knees up. So now as you go to turn my hips,
Oh man, it's much harder.
you should pretty much feel like you're running into a brick wall.
Yeah.
So because I'm aligning my bones with my leg, or the bones of my forearm rather, with my leg, I can support your weight.
Yeah, I'm trying to push this knee down, but
It's just, yeah, it's not going to move. And this is what a frame is. So a frame supports weight.
Right.
If I can have a sturdy enough frame to support all your weight, as you go to turn, you're not going to be successful. This doesn't do anything to get me out of this position, though. This just negates the pass. I know once I set my base out here with my elbows and I set my frames here, I won't be passed, but I'm not going to be able to retrieve any kind of offensive guard. So to address that, I'm now going to switch my frames to your wrists. So my hands are on my knees, I'm going to push away, and now I'm going to lock the bones of my arms out at your wrists so that you can't come down as I retreat my hips. So there I'm using the frame and hip escape concept. All right, so I started with frames here to prevent the movement, and as I manage to push you away, I extend the frames to here. Now my hip movement allows me to get back into a guard that I can be offensive with.
against somebody who's really determined to do this pass, Rob, for sure when you've got your hands locked out,
Yeah.
I can't continue to drive down.
That's correct.
But how easy is it to escape your legs down?
Well,
Or how long does it take to escape your legs down?
that's a matter of just circumstance and understanding of the position. Let me just go through it again, because what's happening here is I'm going to utilize my leg press. So the single most powerful mechanism in my body is actually my leg press. If you've ever lifted weights, you can leg press more weight than you can squat, deadlift by far. So as long as I understand that when I bring my frames in here, I'm not trying to push your arms away, I'm trying to leg press you away and lock your hands out. Now, as long as my knees get through your forearms,
Okay.
I should be fine.
Right.
There is actually footage out there of Rafa Mendes rolling with Andre Galvao, and I would say that the size difference between those two is probably about 40 or 50 pounds.
Sure.
And Andre Galvao is going
One
for
has
this
clearly
pass.
done a lot more weightlifting. than the other.
Weightlifting, yes, quote unquote. And Rafa Mendes manages to shut this pass down entirely by using this method. It's all he does. He frames, he moves his hips, he frames, he moves his hips, and at no point is Galvao successful with this pass. And this is one of Andre's most successful passes. If you see in competition, he uses the double unders all over the place.
Well, hopefully that gives the people out there who are looking for at least one really good way to shut down the double unders a really good place to start with.